Oh, Vlad finally speaks out on what Boosie said. Okay, y'all. Go grab what you need. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button. Go grab what you need so we can go ahead and tune into this video and see what this is about.
What's up, everybody?
Oh,
Welcome
shit.
to an episode of 1090J TV. I am interviewing the legendary Vlad TV.
Oh,
and the first question
shit.
that we're gonna pop
I
this
wasn't
off
expecting
with is,
this collab.
me and you were connected.
Oh, let me turn the volume up for y'all.
And Boosie is one of my favorite interviewees that you've had on your platform. I'm watching every time it drops, and I'm now hearing that he's going up in price. He may be moving away from Vlad TV. What are your comments on this situation?
Well, look, me and Boosie, our business relationship goes back 20 years. Before Vlad TV, when I was doing DVDs, and I was holding the camera and going to Atlantic Records and filming him and Webby, and we'll show a little clip of that. It'll show how far we really go back. You ever run into any of the cats that bit off you?
Nah, we ain't ran into them.
Oh, shit. They've been locked in for a minute.
And me and Boosie have had a good relationship, a great relationship, a friendship, a business relationship. I've been to his house a bunch of times. I met his family.
Okay.
And
oh, damn, I paused. My bad, John. I apologize.
I wasn't paying him to do interviews. But over time, as the views kept going up and people were really gravitating towards these interviews, we started working out appearance fees. And the fees slowly went up. And over the last couple of years, the fee that we actually stuck at was around was $25,000 per interview.
Okay.
And that price was justified because Boosie was pulling in like 6 million views for every interview.
How is that justified? That's greedy. 6 million? All right, so let me put it in perspective for y'all. Y'all that don't really know like how it kind of works. You get around average $10 per 100,000 views, right? I mean, $1,000 for every 100,000. Rough estimate. Okay, so that's about $10,000 for a million, right? He's talking about just straight up long form content, but when you break it down, it's way more than that. It's way more than that.
And in that particular situation, I showed Boosie all the numbers and all my back end numbers and so forth. He was getting around 5.5 million views, make around 35,000 off that interview, and he would make 25,000. I had a $10,000 profit margin. He still made the majority of the money, but I was still making $10,000, so I was cool with that, right? And we were rocking like that for years. Some time had passed. It was, I don't know, about 6, 7, 8 months since our last interview. So I just hit him up one day, a couple of weeks ago, and we had a conversation. And this conversation was a private business conversation, but Boosie recently did a live where he revealed parts of this conversation. And in his live, he said that he had asked for $5,000 more, and I said no, which is why he's not going to do the interview.
I wanted $5,000 more than he wanted to pay me. He didn't want to pay me, so I think I'm gonna make more money doing it this way. And I'm editing my interview now.
Now, that's not exactly accurate. So, I wasn't gonna put any of this out there, but because he started putting out numbers out there and people started going, oh, Vlad being cheap, why is it only 5,000? You could pay him that, not knowing the whole picture. So I'm gonna lay out the whole picture for everyone just to explain what exactly is going on. So when I called Boosie, like I said, the fee had always been $25,000. He said, I want $40,000.
Damn.
And I'm like, fam, I can't do $40,000. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
That ain't $5,000. That's a 15. That's 15 ball. It's a 15 ball. I mean, I still think he's worth it, but that's a big jump.
That's just putting me in the hole in a situation like this. He's like, well, I'll go as low as 35. And I'm like, man, listen, I might be able to do 30 after I run the numbers, but 35 is definitely out of the question. But let me go ahead and run my numbers and actually see what's going on. So I went back and I looked through the last, 5 or 6 interviews, and I looked, and the profit margin on each of these interviews was around $10,000. So I showed him the numbers. I sent him a spreadsheet showing him my back end numbers. And I'm like, bro, the most I could do is 25. You're asking for 35. Your traffic has been dipping over the years. You've gone from about 6 million to about 5.5 to about 5 and some change. So you're looking at about maybe a 10, 15% decrease in views, which means a 10 to 15% decrease in revenue, as you know, but you're asking for a 40% increase in appearance fee, a 40% increase. It doesn't make any business sense because what'll end up happening is, look, Boosie's already at home, right? He wakes up, he does the interview.
Right.
There's no cost associated with him, and he was getting paid $25,000. I have to fly because I don't have a studio or a camera crew in Georgia, in Atlanta, so I have to hire a camera crew in Atlanta. I have to fly from LA to Atlanta. I have to get a hotel. I have to have all the costs associated with it. And then afterwards, I have to pay to get the video edited and pay my crew and everything else like that. And as you know, with YouTube, I'm taking all the risk because sometimes videos get demonetized.
Right.
Right? Especially when you talk about someone like a Boosie who has, you know, he swears, he's talking about a lot of edgy stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm taking 100% of the risk. So I'm like, listen, I cannot pay you $35,000 when I'm gonna make nothing. Or maybe I'm even gonna take a loss. And Boosie was like, yo, you're being cheap. And I said, I'm not being cheap. I'm being put in a situation where you make all the money and I make none of the money. It simply doesn't make any business sense.
Well, let me ask you, what was it that caused the price hike? Because I feel like it would be more understandable if he just beat a major case or if something significant happened. And you know what I mean? Like sometimes we see rappers go through crazy things and everybody wants that breaking story. What was it that you think caused this to come about?
I don't know. I know Sean Cotton, you know, me and Sean actually had a conversation about this yesterday. He had put out a video where he said that he had heard from someone that Boosie was upset because I had mentioned that I paid Tekashi more than I'd ever paid anyone else. And that might be the reason. I've never actually asked Boosie to confirm this. But if that is true, you guys have to understand, Tekashi brought in like 20 million views. It was the biggest interview of 2025. It was the biggest meme of 2025. The whole I stole that shit.
Stole that shit.
Stole that shit.
Stole that
That's
shit.
what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
No, he definitely. I think y'all think he deserved that. I think he deserved every bit of it. You know what I'm saying? Tekashi is very controversial. He's going through a lot at the time. You know what I'm saying? He's still going through a lot. Like his name is still like, you know what I'm saying? It made sense. It made sense.
Being used. There's a Trump version.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit. And I stole it, like, but niggas don't understand. I talk facts.
There was all types of stuff. It was a huge interview. And for that particular interview, yes, I paid more than I've paid anyone else, but that was a one-off. The other Tekashi interviews were not, you know, that same price, right? Because they didn't get those same type of views. I've paid Boosie way more than I've paid Tekashi. Way more.
And not only that, it doesn't seem like Tekashi is that consistent versus Boosie is more of a recurring guest.
Yeah.
And I hope that Boosie, you know, I don't wish, you know, whatever direction he chooses to go, but I hope he realizes the power and the dynamic that you two have. Because both of you mesh very well, and it's the presentation entirely that makes it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think me and Boosie play off each other very well. So Boosie went on live. Like I said, I wasn't going to say any of this. This was just going to be a private conversation between me and Boosie. And if people ever asked, I'd be like, oh, well, me and Boosie just busy. And, you know, at some point we might hook up or not. You know, I mean, it is what it is. That's my man. But he decided to make a video. And in the video, he said, yeah, I'm going to do the interview myself. And I'm going to have my kids interview me. And I think I'll make more money this way. And I'm actually glad that Boosie is going that direction because he'll get to see for the first time how much money is actually made. And, you know, Boosie has his own channel.
How much work goes into it.
Yeah, he'll actually get a crash course on the other side of the business because Boosie's never been a YouTube guy. He's been, you know, a music guy. He's been, you know, getting shows. That's where most of his money comes from. So he'll get to see what I've gone through on my end. Because right now, Boosie's now had to pay for his own cameraman. He's got to pay for his own editing. Like, you know, he's having costs right now, which he never had before, doing interviews with me. And he'll get to see exactly how much revenue he'll get. For him to make more than 25,000, he's going to have to bring in 5-6 million views. You know, at least 4 million views in order to make that back. And I hope he makes it. Because at the end of the day, man, everyone transitions and everyone, you know, businesses change and people have different priorities and everything else like that. Maybe Boosie will be okay getting less money but owning the content. That's really up to Boosie. It's not up to me. But I think it's good, and I want everyone to watch that interview that he puts out himself. And people can come to their own conclusions, but I could almost guarantee that after Boosie goes through this process, he'll see that Vlad has been fair with him this whole time. Vlad has been 100 with him this whole time. We've never really had, up to this point, we never had like a business disagreement. You know, at times where Boosie's like, oh, well, I thought I was going to, you know, get this. And I'm like, okay, cool, you can have it. I'm not tripping. You know, because for me, the relationship is more important than anything else. It's the business relationship.
100%.
Really. You know, like I said, for years now, I've been giving Boosie the majority of the money. He's been making 25, I've been making 10. I've been okay with that. But at the point where he makes 35 and I make 0, then I can't do that anymore.
It seemed like to me like, you know what I'm saying, Boosie, he just, it's something new he's trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? I think he really did feel some type of way about that 6ix9ine situation. That I think that really made him feel some type of way. I don't know. Right now, it seems like Vlad is being fair. That's what I'm getting.
That's just the reality.
But I also know there's other ways you can make money than from the actual content than just putting the video out there. You chop it up, you know what I'm saying, post little clips and make money from your reels too. He's just talking about the full, you know what I'm saying, the full thing. Posting the full 2-hour interview on there. You can chop it up to 15-minute segments, boom, then post it and make money off of there that way. Like, it's other ways too.
And the thing is, the fact that he put out the $5,000 thing, people didn't understand what it was. Because like, oh, well, if he's getting 50 and that's just another 5,000, that's a little 10% increase. What's the big deal? Well, no, he was making 25 and he asked for another 10. You know, I think the 5,000 came from, I said, maybe I could do 30, but he wanted 35. And then I had to back up off that 30 after running the numbers. So really, he's asking for another 10,000. And that's the truth, man. That's the absolute truth. And I just want to say that regardless of what happens, Boosie is my guy, and we've done classic content together. You'll never, ever hear me say anything bad about Boosie. Ever. I wish him all the best. He has a beautiful family, super talented, a great interviewee. Anybody is lucky to have Boosie on their platform. But the kind of money that he's asking, I don't know anyone that'll pay him $35,000. Not to say he's not worth it. I'm not saying, I'm not telling Boosie what his worth is. People are worth whatever they think they're worth. But I'm saying in terms of the market, and you have a YouTube channel. I mean, if Boosie asked you for $35,000 to do an interview, would you do it?
No.
Yeah.
I would pass on that. And I also think that one of the elements that he's not taking into consideration, you know, if he plans on dropping this on his own YouTube channel, he has to understand you have to remain consistent. Yeah. Otherwise, your active viewers on your channel is going to drop. So if you only have a very limited amount of people actively watching and you drop a video, it's not going to go as viral as you think. Versus Vlad TV, the platform with over 6 million subscribers, is dropping multiple videos every single day. When you have over 1 million to 2 million active viewers currently watching, these videos are going platinum immediately. And I don't think he understands that. He'll figure it out, but I definitely hope to see him back on Vlad TV in the future.
I hope to see Boosie back on Vlad TV in the future as well. We don't have any sort of beef. If you notice, I haven't said one negative thing about this man. Not one. Boosie's dope, man. I love Boosie. And we've had so many moments, the hypnotized with hatred, the come on, dog. Like, you know, there's still memes that are floating around. Dog. People love me and Boosie. And yeah, he's done other interviews, but I think if you ask any Boosie fan who their favorite interviewer is with Boosie, I think almost all of them will say Vlad.
100%.
And that's not me in my ego or whatever else. I think most people like how me and him do our interviews together because I push back. I bring up stuff that he wasn't expecting. I don't let him just kind of go in a direction that I disagree with. And there is some back and forth. There is some.
I don't know. I feel like if you're that close with Boosie, then at I would say do it one time, right? All right, he won 35. Give him that 35 at one time and tell him, like, look, if this, you know what I'm saying, if this interview does well, then we can keep it at that price. Boom. If it doesn't, we got to come down. We, like, it's, you got to know how to negotiate it. Like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to take that back end part anymore. He doesn't want to lose any more money than he already is. Like he said, he's giving Boosie more than what he's making. So he say, I don't know for sure, but I don't know. How do y'all feel about the situation? If y'all was in Vlad's shoes, would y'all just go ahead and give Boosie that one-time $35,000 for the interview, or would y'all backtrack? I don't know. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you won't miss no more of my videos.